This is R.D. Sharma, class 11, chapter 29, limits. In limits, we are going to see certain different types of limit evaluation technique or methods. So we are taking the evaluation of trigonometric limits. So there are three methods. How to do this? When we have trigonometric identities involved, trigonometric relationships involved, then see, first one is when we have a limit theta tends to 0. I'll tell you I'll write directly the relationships. So limit theta tends to 0, sin theta is 0. Second one is limit theta tends to 0, and we are talking about cos theta here. Cos 0 is what? It's 1. These are all standard. We can always give a proof of that, but you just know the relationships, theorems. Sin theta by theta, limit theta tends to 0 is 1. But theta is in radians. Theta is in radians. One more. Now sin theta by theta we have done. Let us take tan theta by theta. Limit theta tends to 0. We have tan theta by theta divided by theta is 1. Let us take one more or two more. The variation is that if this sin theta by theta, if we write it as sin theta minus a by theta minus a can be any constant here. So we will change the limit also. It will be theta tends to a, then only it will be 0 by 0 form. 0 by 0, that is infinite form. So this is going to be again 1. Like the third one, this will also be 1. What about another one? That is tan theta minus alpha or theta minus a by theta minus a. Limit theta tends to a, tan theta minus a by theta minus a. So what do we get here? We get 1. Again 1. So we'll use it directly. So let me take an example set so that you understand how do we apply this. This is a NCERT question. So we have sin AX by sin BX and limit x tends to 0. Same way we'll do it. So this is sin AX. Let us divide it by AX. Then we have, since we have AX, so we have to multiply it by AX because AX we have introduced. Sin BX in the denominator. Now let us have BX. And BX we have to again add because we have by ourselves added it. Now limit we can separate. Limit for all these three we can apply it separately. It doesn't matter. So this is sin AX by X. What is this formula? I told you the limit x tends to 0. It's sin theta by theta is what? 1. Is 1. So again sin BX by BX is 1. So 1 by 1 is 1. Again 1. And AX by BX, XX you can cancel, A by B remains. So limit x tends to 0 for a constant is a constant, A by B. So this is going to be the answer, A by B will come. So these standard results we can use, standard results. Now all these we have seen x tends to 0, but there may be possibility when we have to evaluate the trigonometric limits when the variable tends not to 0. That is, it is not tending to 0. Variable tends to a non-zero quantity. Non-zero quantity. So if you remember, when we were discussing limit exists or limit is there when we have left hand and right hand limit also exist and they are equal. So left hand limit x tends to a minus, right hand limit x tends to a plus implies that limit x tends to a fx exists, is there. Okay. So non-zero. So we'll use this right hand limit in order to solve this. So when we have limit x tends to a fx, we'll use x tends to a plus, that is right hand limit. So x tends to a plus fx, that is, what do? Whenever we have this a, we take a plus h and then a minus h, that is a plus h on the right hand limit, a minus h in the left hand limit. So a plus h, right hand limit we are using, a plus h. So we have f a plus h. So this h is very small, h tends to 0. So h tends to 0. Limit x tends to 0 will become x tends to a becomes h tends to 0, f a plus h, f a plus h. So I'm going to give you an example so that you understand what we have just did. The example is something like this: limit x tends to pi by 2 and 1 plus cos 2x by pi minus 2x whole square. So we have to find out the limit using this method, because x is not tending to 0, x is tending to pi by 2. X is tending to pi by 2. So what we will do? First of all, we have to replace x by pi by 2 plus h, that is the right hand limit, x as pi by 2 plus h. And then we have h tends to 0. So limit h tends to 0, 1 plus cos 2 x we are replacing by pi by 2 plus h. Similarly, we have pi minus 2 and x as pi by 2 plus h. Okay, make it all square. So now you have this, multiply this cos 2 into pi by 2 is cos pi plus 2x. Inside this we have 1 plus cos pi plus 2x inside this. And in the denominator I am not going to solve this fully, it will take time. So 4h square will come. Cos 180 plus theta is what? Minus cos theta. It's minus cos theta. Cos 180 plus theta. Limit is already there. Okay, left hand side, assume limit is going on. So 1 minus cos 2h by 4h square. 1 minus cos 2h is what? It's 2 sin square h. 2 sin square h. And denominator we already have 4h square. Now take this 2 out, 2 by 4, that is half outside. And sin square h by h square, you can take 1 by 1. Take them separately. Half, take limit, 1 limit. Sin square h by h square. So sin h by h I am taking 1. And we have sin h by h another one. We are now applying limit, h tends to 0. Here also limit, h tends to 0. Now this sin h by h, we have seen this is 1. And here also sin h by h, it's 1. So half into 1 into 1 is half. That is how we are going to use wherever variable tends to a non-zero quantity. This is how we evaluate the trigonometric limits. Now we have one more flavor of this, is the factorization method. We can evaluate the trigonometric limit using the factorization method, and I'll try to explain this with the example. And you have to remember all the a, because you have to go to the theory when we discussed about a cube plus b cube, a cube minus b cube, and a plus b whole square, a minus b whole square, a square minus b square. So the question here is limit x tends to pi, 1 plus x sec cube x 10 square x. So we can use the factorization. Let us assume it to be 1 cube. So we have 1 cube plus sec cube x, means a cube plus b cube. A cube plus b cube we know it's a plus b, a square plus b square minus ab. This is how we write. A is sec x here, and b you can take it as 1 or vice versa. So 10 square x is what? 10 square x is sec square x minus 1. So sec square x minus 1, you can assume it to be sec square x minus 1 square. So it will be a square minus b square formula. So sec x minus 1 and sec x plus 1. Sec x minus 1 and sec x plus 1. Right? You just cancel this plus 1. And whatever is remaining, because we know sec pi, because x tends to pi, sec pi is minus 1. Sec 180 degree is minus 1. So you can just put this minus 1 here. Okay. And then you get the result. Sec square pi minus sec pi plus 1. As I said, sec pi minus 1. Sec pi is minus 1. So you have minus 1 whole square, 1. And then minus of minus 1, that is plus 1. Plus 1 by sec pi minus 1 is there. Minus 1 minus 1. So minus 3 by 2 is come. This is just an example how to do this using the factorization method. Okay. Now coming to the evaluation of exponential and logarithmic limits. So we will apply here or use the expression That is, if the expansion should be known, then only you will be able to solve this. You don't need to learn by heart, but still you need to know a bit about this. For example, 1 plus x to the power n. We'll use the direct result, but just have an idea about this. 1 plus nx plus n minus 1 by factorial 2x square plus n minus 1 n minus 2 by factorial 3 plus x cube. Then it will become n minus 1 n minus 2 n minus 3 by factorial 4 x to the power 4, like this. This will go on. What about log x 1 plus x? So what log 1 plus x and log 1 minus x will do. Log 1 plus x and log 1 minus x. So log 1 plus x, it will be a negative sign, but alternatively it will come. And then we have log 1 minus x also. Same expression will be there, only the sign will change. So log 1 plus x is x minus x square by 2 plus x cube by 3 minus x4 by 4. And what about log 1 minus x? We have minus x square by 2 minus x cube by 3 minus x4 by 4 minus x5 by 5, like this. And the fourth one is e to the power x, and we'll see e to the power minus x also. E to the power x is, the expressions are same, only sign will change. E to the power x will have all plus. So 1 plus x square by factorial 2 plus x cube by factorial 3. And e to the power minus x alternate negative positive. 1 minus x plus x square by factorial 2 minus x cube by factorial 3 plus x4 by factorial 4. Now coming to a to the power x. So this will be 1 plus x into log a. The base will be e. So log a base is e. And we have plus x square by factorial 2 log a base e, and then square it. Okay. Then we have important one, sin x, cos x and tan x. They also have expansion. Sin x, cos x and tan x. So this, and all these three series are different. They have nothing common. X minus x cube by factorial 3 plus x5 by factorial 5 minus x7 by factorial 7, right? Then we have the next one, cos x 1 minus x square by factorial 2 plus x4 by factorial 4 minus x6 by factorial 6. Tan x will be x plus x cube by 3 plus 2 by 15 x5. So these are all expansions you need to know. And when we are talking about the theorem which we can directly devise using this expansion, it's a to the power x minus 1 by x, limit is x tending to 0. So log a base e. The standard solution of if we expand log 1 plus x, then we know the expression now. So log 1 plus x by x equals what? Limit x tends to 0. It will be, you just have to expand this as we said, and then it will be solved easily. It will be simply 1. We will use them directly. Now if we just change this, the first one, that is e to the power x minus 1 by x, in place of this a, if I put e, what will happen? So we have log this same thing, log e, but a will be e. So e to the power x minus 1 by x, log x tends to 0 is log, base is e, and this is also e. So it will be 1. Okay. So these are certain standard results. We can apply it here. Coming to the evaluation of limit of the form 1 raised to infinity. What does it mean? 1 raised to infinity. So we have to evaluate the limits of the form 1 raised to infinity. I'll just give an example, then you understand. And then I'll tell you actual result here. So you have 1 plus x raised to 1 to the power x. The limit is x tends to 0. So what do we do? X is 0, just put x as 0, 1 plus 0 raised to 1 by 0. So 1 plus 0 is 1 and 1 by 0 is infinity. So 1 raised to infinity. This form, how are we going to solve this? For this, we have a very simple solution, direct solution. They are the way, there are certain ways we have devised it or proved it, but I'll tell you the direct formula. I'll give you an example and then I'll give you the expression. So we have this limit x tends to infinity, 1 plus 2 by x raised to the power x. So assume it to be equivalent to 1 plus fx and raised to the power gx. So fx is 2 by x here and gx is x. So fx and gx are two separate functions in this formation. And the limit is x tending to infinity in this case. So what do? You just have to take e, take the same limit. If it is x tending to infinity, just take the same limit, x tends to infinity. And fx and gx, just multiply them. Fx and gx. So e to the power limit x tends to infinity. You have fx as 2 by x, gx as s, x, multiply them. What do you get? E to the power limit x tends to infinity, 2 is a constant. So it will be e square. I hope you got the idea. This 1 to the power infinity, this is how we are going to solve it. So the final one is e to the power limit, whichever is x is say tending to infinity or pi by 2, whatever, fx into gx, when we have 1 plus fx raised to the power gx form. So there are certain result for this also, direct result I am telling you. Limit x tends to 0, 1 plus x raised to the power 1 by x. 1 plus x raised to the power 1 by x, and this is going to be e. Second is limit x tends to infinity, 1 plus 1 by x to the power x. This is going to be e. There is one more. Limit x tends to 0, 1 plus lambda x to the power 1 by x is e to the power lambda. Lambda can be any constant. E to the power lambda. There is one more. 1 plus lambda by x. The limit is x tends to infinity. 1 plus lambda by x raised to the power x is equal to e to the power lambda. So these are certain standard result, okay, for evaluation of 1 to the power infinity form. So this is all about this discussion. Thank you so much. Take care of yourself.